Okay, the Carolina Panthers with pick number 8 make, in my opinion, the correct choice. Apparently, they were looking for a trade down partner, but ultimately don't find a deal that's worth it, so they decide to just stay where they're at and select Tetairoa McMillan at pick number 8, who I just think this is a good move. I mean, hey, we've seen with, with Mike Evans, with Drake London, having these big receivers that you draft in the top 10 can work out well. Chris Olave, a different body type, but he was someone who was picked with a first-round pick. That definitely, well, he's had his injury issue. But ultimately, I think it's the right pick. I think that they need a receiver for Bryce Young. They need to help Bryce Young out. And going with some of these other defensive selections people were speculating with, I just don't think would have been a smart play here. I think they need to help out your young quarterback. And quite frankly, I just think he's worth the pick. I think that like a lot of the players that people were mocking here not only were not as good of a fit, not as good of a need, not as important for your young quarterback, but not as good of players on top of it. Tetairoa McMillan, and we'll get into it in the film in just a second, is absolutely worth the pick that he's going to be that they spent on here with pick number 8. So ultimately, hey, Carolina Panthers making a smart move here. I think going after a player that should be very good. Could be a number 1 receiver. But yeah, that's my thought on the decision itself. But now let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about the film. What do I like about him so much? So let's start off with a play like this. You see his route on this play. It's the one that I put on the screen. It's just going to be running, trying to get kind of to the 25-ish yard line. Also worth noting, the coverage, it is going to be a one-on-one matchup against him. So, okay, let's see what happens. So, when this play begins, you see, again, nothing fancy up until this point. I mean, kind of just, going underneath, being able to make the grab right here. But this is really what I like about him, is the footwork that he has. Because a lot of guys would kind of just go down right here. But you see how he's able to cut forward and pick up just a bit more yards. Again, nothing crazy, nothing highlight reel ish. But again, when you factor in the fact that this guy is a 6'5 receiver, the fact that he can cut and make guys miss in these situations is impressive. Like going over to a play like this, I mean, this is really what you look at when you see someone like McMillan, where it's going to be a one-on-one matchup. He's going to be cutting more over the middle. Okay, let's see what happens. Well, when the ball is snapped, you see that he's going to get the inside leverage. And as of right here, he cuts. And this isn't like the most separation you've seen. And that would be the kind of the one critique that I think people do throw at him is, could he get more separation? Again, I think he does well, but that's just the one, like, if you have to nitpick, that is probably the one nitpick, is he could get more separation consistently. Ultimately, in college, though, he didn't need separation. Because watch how on this play, he's still going to be able to go up and make that grab. Because again, some guys are big receivers, but they don't really use it and aren't really able to make the tough catches. He can make the tough catches, right? So when you factor in the way that he can move so well for his height and the fact that he can use his height, that is what you like about McMillan. But ultimately, like going over to something like this, it's kind of a thing where essentially every, like, I feel like 6'5 receiver at this point just gets compared to Mike Evans, because like that's like the typical example of like something that's worked at that size. But ultimately, what I think a lot of people miss about Evans is how good of a route runner he is, right? He's not just a big guy; he can use his route running very well. Well, McMillan is definitely someone who I see similar traits with, where like this play is again going to be going over the middle. But when this play begins, you see how he's going to start off just by running straight up. You don't see where he's going. It's the sort of the stem portion of the route is what you call it, because it's like a route tree, right? So the stem of the tree. Okay, sure. Is that what they call it? Or stems tree? Or do trees have stems? Or is that something else? I don't know enough about the plants, but ultimately that's what people call it. Football-wise, those are the terms. Anyway, watch what happens. You're gonna see that then when he cuts over the middle, he's able to get separation and is able to make the play work. So again, I'm not saying he doesn't get separation. You could use a little bit more consistency, but ultimately he does still get separation, and it's usually by using his route running to do it. Heading over to a play like this is another example where it's going to be zone coverage and it's just a 3-man rush. So, okay, not going to be a lot of windows down the field, right? You see where he is. He's the one I've circled in yellow. Again, when this play begins, you see him rush up, and it's just so hard to tell what he's doing, and you don't want him to blow by you, so you have to make sure that you give him some separation. And again, for most guys, we're like, what is he, like a 4 or 5 guy? I can keep up with him. But the issue is you have to make sure you're in perfect position if he's running down the field, because he is so big. And now because of that, there's a little bit of space underneath. He cuts and there's a window there. The ball did not come when that window was there, but there was a window there, which again is what you like about him, is how consistently he can do these types of things. But I want to go over here because, okay, that last play is what you like about him. This is what you love about him. This is going to be a play where it's just, quick slant route, one-on-one matchup. First, as you see, once again, he's going up and, not showing what he's doing just yet, making it, unclear as to where he could potentially be going. So, okay, right off the bat, that's good stuff, right? Well, then when he does cut more over the middle, you see the ball gets in his direction, and at this point, it's already a pretty good route. Again, for a 6'5" guy to be able to essentially run slot receiver-like routes, that's pretty impressive, but this play is not even over. Watch as he then cuts back over the middle and just jukes out that defender and makes another guy miss in open space. I mean, this is, again, high-level stuff. This is slot receiver-level stuff that you're seeing a 6'5" receiver run. I mean, that's not supposed to happen. That's not how football is supposed to work, but it's how it does work because of how different he is, essentially. And I will say as well, I think he does the little things well. I think that, okay, listen, that stuff is great. The traits are great, but ultimately at the NFL level, okay, listen, there's not a lot of guys who can cut the way he does at 6'5", but there are players that are better at defending that than there will be in college, right? Of course, that's the case. You want to make sure that he does the little things well as well. Something like this, for example, where it's just going to be a route where he's going over the middle against zone coverage. When this play begins, you're going to see that the ball is snapped, and as of right here, he's not open. I mean, this, again, not really his fault. He ran the route fine, but it's covered up over the middle. So what is McMillan going to do? We'll watch how he then is going to be able to find an open spot, and he does ultimately make the grab and is able to pick up the first down. I mean, that's really good stuff there by McMillan. And again, these little things are what you want to see at the NFL level. So ultimately, this is why he is my favorite wide receiver. Again, Travis Hunter would be my favorite player because he also plays corner, but I think that just as a wide receiver, McMillan is my wide receiver one. I do think he is the best pure wide receiver, and to me, he does feel like he could be a superstar in the making. So ultimately, yeah, big fan of his game. That's how I view all of this. Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that video and want to hear more of my thoughts, well, for one thing, you can check out my movie channel. Yes, I have a movie channel. You can check the link in the description below. I do some fun things like some movie reviews, even some TV show reviews, tier list, fun things like that, so you can check that out. Also, make sure that you are subscribed and paying attention to this channel, as there will be plenty of draft content. I plan on making a video for every first round pick, many of the other picks throughout the draft, and also I will do recaps for each team after the draft is over. So I will eventually talk about every single pick from your favorite team. Be on the lookout for that, as it will be out this weekend. And also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter. I am at Jackson Kruger, or X, whatever you prefer to call it. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks again for watching till the end of the video.